Hello friends, Brandy here with Falcon Healing Arts. I hope you are doing really well. In this video, I want to talk about breast health because it is October. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Surely you have seen that pink ribbon everywhere, and we're bringing to mind all the women in our lives who have had issues with breast cancer and issues with their breast health. It is serious, and I definitely don't want to diminish that. But many of us are also very reluctant to follow the recommendations of just getting mammograms to assess our breast health. There is so much more involved with that really frustrates me. We don't hear about the toxicity that might be affecting our health and our likelihood of getting cancer. We don't talk about the emotional component. And from the energy perspective, from the Chinese medicine perspective that I'm talking about today, the energy is the bridge between all of this. So it is a very good place to work, a reliable place to work. Where we focus on this, we can affect these other aspects of our health. So I want to be talking to you about that today, this Chinese medicine perspective, and then also share with you my personal journey and experience with taking care of my breast health. Because I did do some recent tests and just want to share how I've gone through that whole process, because it was a little scary for me. But now that I'm on the other side, I feel like I want to share this more. And I think everyone will find this interesting. And even if you don't agree with me, I think you'll find it interesting. But there may be some of you who are just like me, who want alternatives. And so the information I'm sharing will help you feel empowered, will help you feel hopeful and interested in trying something different, something new that you can still rely on. So how do you know that your breasts are healthy from a Chinese medicine or alternative perspective? Well, we honestly don't really look at the body in a compartmentalized way. We're looking at your whole system, and we're not even just looking at the body. We are looking at how you are emotionally balanced. We're looking at your workload, how healthy your diet is. We're looking for balance everywhere. And when we are finding that something may be off with your energy, which is what we mainly monitor, this is all about the amount and movement of our qi and blood. When we are finding an issue there, that is where we focus. So even if someone comes in with issues with their breast, I will talk about where we would focus, but we are still looking at the whole body, the whole system, because it is actually impossible to just target one area of the body. When you are treating that area of the body, you are really treating the whole system. And again, not just the body, but you're treating the energy. So you're treating the emotions and even the mind and spirit as well. So the breasts have to do with the lung organ. They are sitting right on top of the lungs. So if there are any issues with the breasts, we might be targeting the lungs with acupuncture, acupressure, with herbs, with all of the modalities in our medicine. But also the stomach meridian. The channel of the stomach actually runs, it starts at the eye, and then it runs down through the face, the neck, and right down the center of each breast, actually right through the nipple line. So when a woman has mastitis or other issues with their breasts, that is where we focus, is with the stomach channel. So both the lung and the stomach organs and channels are where we would focus the energy medicine. That's what we would target. But of course, those channels link into all the regions of the body as well. And then we're also working with or looking at how the energy is. So there may be a deficiency, there may be not enough energy in the lungs or the stomach, or it may be that there is an excess. When there is an excess amount of energy, that's pretty clear because there's typically pain and stagnation of the energy involved there. So when you're feeling pain in the area, it usually means that it's congested, and it usually means that that is excessive. And so opening it, venting those channels in that region is going to help regulate the movement of energy and balance it all out. Because remember, I've mentioned this before in my videos, and I know some of you may be new to seeing what I teach, but when there is smooth flowing qi and blood, we don't feel any pain. Our body feels very easeful, joyful, and we also feel that way in the heart and the mind. So we're in a state of equanimity and balance. It's when we start feeling pain or intense emotions, hard time focusing in the mind, or very negative mindsets, things like that that are off show us that there is an imbalance in the energy as well. Okay, so that's where we focus in Chinese medicine. So again, when you are treating the whole system all of the time and making sure that there is free flowing qi and blood, this is preventative medicine. This is preventing disease, because disease can only occur when there is an imbalance, and the body is always trying to move into balance. So it's so important that we pay attention to the cues that come up, to the communication that it is trying to have with us, with our mind. So that is just in a nutshell how we approach this from the Chinese medicine perspective. Now, I want to share what I personally feel about this month, about Breast Cancer Month, about caring for my breasts in particular, and just suggestions for everyone. So I do suggest upfront that we do focus on preventative medicine, that we don't treat our bodies like crap, that we pay attention to what we're eating. We pay attention to toxic exposures with our environment and with our food. So definitely eating organic whenever possible. And once you get to know Chinese medicine, there are ways that you can change your diet and lifestyle that will help ease the flow in the lungs and stomach. But again, that shouldn't be your focus, in my opinion. It should be the whole body and the whole system. So let me know if you have any questions about any of that, and let us talk about my story. So I will first say that I have a strong history of breast cancer in my family. So my mother had breast cancer when she was actually younger than me. She was in her 40s, I believe. And both of my grandmothers, my maternal and my paternal grandmother, both had breast cancer. All of them survived, but they did go through some type of standard therapy. So I don't know if it was radiation or chemotherapy. I don't recall, as I was younger, much younger and self-involved, but they all survived. And my grandmothers died of something else eventually. But so I've always known that, I had the strong history, but my lifestyle is completely different. I do eat very, very clean. Just my lifestyle. I have much less stress than both of them. Same with my mom. I just have a lot less going on. I'm able to take care of myself. And I've always felt that my chances of getting it are not as strong, even though there is this genetic component. Because just because you have a gene for something doesn't mean that it's going to be turned on. It doesn't mean you're going to have this phenotype. It doesn't mean that you may have a mutation even. And I'm not even going to get those tests because I believe that it messes with the mind. When you obsess about possibly having something in your history that may transpire in your life, I personally do not believe that is healthy. And so moving forward in my life with all of my choices, I've always felt very empowered and very secure. Again, I have not felt that I am personally at risk, but I am aware. And my husband is actually more concerned about it than me. And I've been listening to him lately. Also, I've been having a lot of upper body tension and stagnation that I'm paying attention to more. And so when my friend Alicia reached out to me, she just became a thermography technician. She asked if I wanted to get a session with her. And so automatically I said yes, absolutely yes, because I had been thinking about it for a while. I personally am against mammograms, and I totally respect every other woman who chooses to get one. Most of my patients get mammograms. I do not share my opinion with them. I support whatever they do. But I'm sharing this again with you because you may not know that there are alternatives. You may not know that there are any concerns about what is the standard way to assess breast health, and even with the treatment. And yeah, so it's never made sense to me that we have to expose our breasts to large amounts of radiation to detect cancer. It just seems very, it's like an oxymoron. It doesn't make sense to me. And same with squishing the boobs. And actually, there's so much pressure that it can compress, it can burst any cysts that are in there too. So always a gentle approach to the body is what I personally resonate with. I don't think that's what my body is asking for. And even with the treatment, this is also honestly where I've been getting stuck, because even though I knew I was interested in thermography, I was afraid to learn if there was anything wrong because I wasn't sure of what I would do. I know I don't want radiation. I don't want chemotherapy. But now that I have a son, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. So there was always that fear and just not wanting to know and feeling fine. And so there's no reason. And so when I signed up for this appointment with my friend, that fear started to creep up a bit. But it was a very pleasant session. If you've never had thermography, basically I was just in this room. There was a curtain between me and my friend. So it was just a camera in front of me, and I had to disrobe, lift my arms up to acclimate my upper body to the room temperature, and then she started taking pictures. So I just had to pose in certain ways so that certain areas of my body were highlighted with these images. And so I did a whole upper body scan. So not just the breasts, but also my abdomen, my throat, and face. And if I remember, I'll mention more about that to you too, because it was very, very interesting. And yeah, so it was a very pleasant experience. I got the results just a week later. And what I found, what the technicians shared with me, and there's a doctor who reviews it too. So you get a report from the doctor, and then the technicians reach out. So it was my friend and her partner who reached out to me and scheduled a free session to go over the thermography report. And in that report, the doctor did say So this is what was found. I'll give you the nutshell. So it's indicating, it's looking for warming areas of the body, because where there is more warming, where there is more blood flow, that may mean that that area is being fed by estrogen. It may mean that that area is being fed because there's more tissue, possibly cancerous tissue, that is growing. And so there were very interesting pockets of heat in my body, all around my sinuses here, somewhat in my jaw, a little bit in my thyroid, much less than I was expecting in my thyroid because I do have thyroid issues. But there was a lot here at my chest and in both breasts. And there was a difference in temperature between the two breasts. So that's what was most concerning to the techs and to the doctor who wrote the report as well. So they all said, it's probably a good idea that you see a doctor. Actually, the doctor recommended I see an MD, but the technicians recommended that I get an ultrasound instead. And so I did do that. I scheduled an ultrasound an hour away. So I took a drive up to Novato. QT Imaging is where I got it done. And that was actually also a very, very pleasant experience. I had been in traffic, and so it was a relief to go to this office that was very calm. It was just the technician and me, completely empty, had this Japanese decor to it, and I undressed, put on this robe, and then went in this other room, had to lay on this large table that had a hole in it, and below the hole is the water, and that's where the imaging happens for the ultrasound. And so I had to put one boob at a time into the hole, and then the table's lowered into the water, and then you sit there. I feel like it was maybe 15 minutes on each side, and so I just rested. I rested the whole time. And again, I have never had a mammogram, but the difference between what I experienced with the ultrasound and what other women have experienced with the mammogram, they sound completely different. So I was very happy with that. A little stressed out during the week awaiting the results. But I think I did forget to mention to you that when the doctor did the thermography report, he said that it looks like this is not estrogen fed. So there was some reason he said that. I'm not sure. He's the expert in that. But I did go into this ultrasound appointment knowing that it was most likely not cancer. But still, there was obviously an issue that was warming my upper body. So I got the results, again, a week later from this, and it was positive. So there was nothing disturbing found in either breast, just minor benign calcifications that I guess are pretty common with most women. They're mostly fat. That was also pretty funny to read. But I was just so happy that the report was clean. And so shared this with my friend and her thermography tech partner. And so we are all on board now with me doing different type of therapies to support my breast health. So I am getting weekly acupuncture sessions now from myself. So I just got off the table, and that's why I knew I wanted to do this video with you, because it is becoming a big part of my life. And I had let that go. As I started seeing more clients, it has been harder for me to take care of myself. I have also been doing a lot of upper body exercise that I don't think is good for me, and so I am stopping that. It was really fun, but I need to be doing other things. My body responds better to walking, so grounding, because I've always tended to pool a lot of energy in my upper body. And again, when we have stagnation, this creates heat. So I know when I saw the thermography report, I was like, oh, these are all the areas I have tension. And I had COVID I didn't test, but I had all the symptoms of COVID in April and lost my smell after that. So very interesting that there was all this inflammation in my sinuses. And who knows, that could have been why my chest also showed a lot of inflammation. But I've been sore. I've been really sore and tight just from all the exercise I've been doing, treating patients, knitting, just doing a lot of movement with my arms forward. So keeping my body open, emphasizing stretching at the end of the day is something that I've also been doing. I have been doing essential oil self-massage on myself after doing dry brushing. That I feel has also been helping. And again, I am gauging because I don't have as much pain. I have more space. So what I was saying before about there being either an excess or a deficiency of qi and blood, in my situation, it tends to be excessive. So when it's excessive in the upper body, it needs to move out and down. So again, talking about the exercise, walking is actually better for me because I can ground. So doing more with my lower body, doing much less with the upper body, and just keeping it stretched open is what I need. Let's see, what else am I doing? Okay, next week I have a lymphatic massage scheduled, and I'm going to be doing that every other week. So these are all the things that I am doing now, and I realized, there was still a lot that I wasn't doing. Oh, I am also decreasing my protein load because I do feel I was eating a lot of protein. There is so much conflicting information out in the wellness sphere about the appropriate amount of protein and strength training for women. I think I am an exception to a lot of that because I have plenty of upper body strength. I have a lot of muscle. So usually that advice is given when women are losing muscle, which happens as you age. That's not happening to me. So, and I do think having too much protein was creating more tension in my body. So I have lessened that. I have more fat still in my body, and I'm making sure I'm staying hydrated. So fluid and open is what I'm going for, not tense. Okay, so that is all that I am doing, and I have another thermography exam in December. So at that point, I am assuming, because I am already feeling better, that there will be a difference. And at that point, I will show you the different images side by side to see what all that I've been doing, to see how it has shifted from, so I guess I did it it was August or September to December. Okay. So again, I think this was probably interesting to many of you. Let me know if that's true in the comments below. I'm also curious to hear about how you are dealing with your breast health. Are you doing the standard recommendations of mammogram only? Are you doing other things to help prevent cancer from what you know? And are there any alternative approaches that you are adding in to keep your body healthy on, not just systemically, but keeping you healthy on a holistic level? Body, heart, mind, and spirit. I am so interested to hear about all of this and connect with you in the comments. Please like this video if you found it valuable. Share it with a friend who can use this support. So I am focusing mainly in my in-person practice right now. So I'm not doing as many YouTube videos, but I will still be on here at least once a month. And you can sign up for any of my free offers in the description below that will put you on my email list. I am still doing weekly emails, so we can stay in touch that way. Thank you, friend, for watching, and I hope you stay healthy and well.